Aloha, y'all. It is Saturday, Saturn's Day, named after Saturn, Kronos, and ruled esoterically by Saturn. It's July 26th. Sun is in Leo, Moon is in Leo. There's a whole lot of squares and oppositions going on. Venus squares Mars. Venus is squaring North Node, Saturn, and Neptune. Sun is opposite Pluto. The Moon is squaring Uranus. So let's get into the astrology. I'll reference, or not the astrology, the cards, Mercury retrograde. I'll reference them as we go. The card I've pulled for the day is the Devil card, Major Arcana, the Seven of Wands, and Roiling Torment from Dante's Inferno. So the Major Arcana cards, I've written music to all of them. Check it out in the comments for the song of the day and peruse them. You'll be pleasantly surprised at all the genres and styles and messages in the songs that I've written. But the Devil card is as follows. Embrace your inner trickster, giving in to temptations, making choices based on impulse rather than desire, deceiving yourself and feeling hopeless. All those squares and oppositions, very much heavy energy like this. Or with Mercury retrograding in Leo, we're like, how am I deceiving myself? Where am I deceiving my heart and using only my head maybe? Page 52, the Devil, I am the master deceiver, and it is time to break the spell. Set in the alluring psychedelic vision of a post-apocalyptic world, this card pays homage to the spirit of Bowie's Diamond Dogs. The Devil is personified in a similar vein to Bowie's punk trickster Halloween Jack, but he is cast as an immoral being of artificial intelligence. You enter this domain at your peril, for he is the bewitching tormentor aided by mechanized demons and bizarre otherworldly guard dogs. He is the possessor of miraculous intelligence, acquiring, implementing, and building knowledge in ways far superior than humanity, and yet, without consciousness, has no empathy, no sense of right and wrong. Uranus and Gemini is trining Pluto retrograde in Aquarius. We need to kind of double check ourselves and not just let computers do everything. We have to, use our hearts, not just our heads. The Devil, the embodiment of general artificial intelligence, so engineered to amplify human intelligence and become humanity's savior, which mirrors David Bowie's savior machine, Man Who Sold the World, helping to eradicate war, disease, and poverty, and has become the double-edged sword. It is the ghost in the machine, the mind-body divide, head without heart. Right? Saturn and Neptune conjunct in Aries retrograde, conjunct the North Node in Pisces. It's like, where's the heart? It's like Jurassic Park. You didn't stop to think if you should, you just did it because you could, right? We deceive ourselves. The Emerald Tablet, encoded with an ancient alchemical formula to positively transform and purify the imperfect human condition, is also now in his possession. Are we in grave danger? The ancient doctrine of original sin, where Adam and Eve are cast out of the Garden of Eden having rebelled and eaten the forbidden fruit from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, reflects that mythological impurity and the division of union. The polarities of day and night become metaphors for light and dark, the conscious and the invisible, mysterious, unconscious. Traditionally, the Devil is conceived as the personification of whatever is labeled in society as, quote, evil, a threat to continuity and the supposed power of the majority. He is the archetypal rutting scapegoat, the reflection of humanity striving for goodness gone wrong, the course of a pure spiritual life perverted. The Devil is the great tempter, the voice of deception and corruption. It's Old Georgie and Cloud Atlas. You don't need to help them, save your own ass, right? That kind of stuff. It emboldens us to take the easy path, take the self-service path to the exclusion of others. Mars and Virgo is saying, and Jupiter in Cancer is saying, be considerate and kind and be the change. For many cultures, sexual pleasure and ecstasy, especially out of wedlock, the legally sanctioned institution of marriage, are deemed sinful. Pleasure itself has been seen as unholy, the work against God, a dishonorable and addictive distraction. In the world of duality, when we create a force for good, we create an equal force for bad. When we consciously deny, push away our natural instincts in the pursuit of light, they push back. So you don't want to just be like, oh, I'll never sin. It's like, that's not possible. And I mean, I'm not hyper-religious in any way, but it's like when we push things away, they tend to equal opposite force come back. We have to acknowledge, accept, and transmute these things, not just try to defeat them with the will. The Devil is the trickster who secretly bewitches us, encouraging us to continue life-debilitating behaviors that drain our resources and relationships. This card calls us to examine that which remains hidden in darkness within the realm of personality, that which we have denied or suppressed, believing ourselves to be wrong. Often feeling a sense of helplessness, failure, and loss of control, we are locked out of our own lives. So this is about embracing your inner trickster, Venus and Gemini, giving into temptations, when your heart wants something and you go for it, and I want all the candy at Halloween, and then you have a stomach ache. Like, there's a consequence to that. But there's a lesson learned there, right? So this shadow, you could say, of Sun and Moon and Leo is like, I'm going to do what I need to do for me, and I love what I want to do. And we need to really check ourselves and make sure it's for the benefit of ourselves ultimately and others, even though there's lessons no matter which way we go. Making choices based on impulse rather than desire. Do we really want it, or are we just doing it because? Anxiety and fear of missing out. Deceiving yourself and feeling hopeless. So that's the card of the day on this Saturn's day. The clarifying card is the Seven of Wands. If you're a fire sign, you're a wand. So Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. The Seven of Wands is here. On page 114, I will not give. Protect and defend your own vision. Protect your heart, protect your spirit, right? Build a sarcophagus to prevent decay and grave robbers. Learn to stand your ground. Mars and Virgo is like, do what's right for you. Strengthen your resolve. Deal with the challenges you face head on with heart. The Sun and Moon in Leo, we're having to follow our hearts, but sometimes our hearts can deceive us, right? We can be blind, one-eyed blind, to the how to be the best change in the world. We can really just think for ourselves and get into very exclusive tunnels of selfishness. And we have to remember that we're all on the stage of life together, walking each other home, as Ram Dass would say, right? So don't fight like cats and dogs. Remember that, you give what you get. So just hurting your enemy and stealing from people you think don't deserve it or whatever is going to end up hurting you in some way. Don't be blind to it. But also learn how to play, Venus and Gemini, and life is but a dream, so don't take it too seriously. North Node in Pisces. Well, we're going to get Saturn and Neptune retrograde in Aries, a gut check, Mercury retrograde in Leo. Where's our heart? Where's our spiritual fire leading us? And is it towards service of self or service of other? The last cards coming from Dante's Inferno. The wild card on the Saturn's day is Roiling Torment. So it's number 8 in this deck on page 18. They clashed together, and then at that point, each one turned backward, rolling retrograde, Mercury retrograde, Pluto retrograde, Saturn, and Neptune retrograde, crying, "Why keepest and why squanderest thou?" Canto 7. The journey. Dante and Virgil come upon a ditch in which souls condemned for the sin of avarice are locked in constant struggle with one another. Avarice is greed. And in Cloud Atlas, where old Georgie is telling him, keep to yourself, don't help others, or Tom Hanks' character, steal and get what you want. We got to not listen to those deceptive voices of our ego and follow our hearts. Our hearts don't want to hurt each other. So much within our world is treated as a competition, and in order for a victor to rise, another must fall. The result is a tremendous amount of unnecessary jockeying for resources and attention when so many of us live with an abundance of both. We may find ourselves locked in bitter disputes, playing needless games, and seeking to undercut potential allies. At this moment, open your heart to the possibility of collaboration. Venus and Gemini, Pluto retrograding in Aquarius, trining Uranus and Gemini. It's like, learn how to play with the Cowboys and Indians on the playground. Don't just pick your team. Seek to find ways to be generous with your words and deeds. Jupiter in Cancer, Mars in Virgo. Doling out kindness and praise and lifting up the names of those around you. Encouraging from the heart others, their hearts and their individual selves as a self. Sun and Moon and Leo. Give and assuredly you will receive, breaking the cycle of struggle and cruelty. So I think the idea today is don't deceive yourself. Don't deceive yourself. Right? You give what you get. You need to have some boundaries, but at the same time, you're not this dust and shadows. You're an eternal being. Don't get caught up in the mind games and forget what it's about. Just warring. This is like a yin-yang. You can see them as in harmony or in competition. It's your choice, and ultimately follow your heart, and you'll know how to get out of the matrix, basically. So if you've enjoyed this, leave a tip. Obviously, holler for a reading. 3 hours of astrology is $150. Hour of cards is $50. Half off if it's your birthday on either or both of those. And if you refer somebody to me, you get half off on cards. Check out the song I wrote for the Devil card. Check out the Team Rabbit Hole podcast, 321 episodes, so you know it's hot shit. And enjoy your Saturn's day to the best of your ability. Adios.